Good morning, my dear students, and a warm welcome to the geography lecture of the 8th standard. Students, today we are going to continue with the same lesson what we had started in the previous lecture, that is industries. Students, we had seen in the previous lecture what do you mean by industries, what do you refer by industries, okay? The meaning of that is it refers to an economic activity concerned with production of goods, extraction of minerals, or provision of services. That means it has got a three-way work to do. The first thing is it produces goods, then the next thing is to extract mineral. To extract is to remove minerals, okay, and then is to provide services, okay, to provide services like jobs, opportunities for other people, okay. So that is way that industry works. Next, we can classify industries, that is we can classify whether it is a large scale industry or a medium scale industry or a small scale industry, okay, based on few important points, that is namely raw materials, that is what kind of raw materials do they use, the size of the industry, okay, and also the ownership of the industries. Now, in the introduction we are already finished about the industries. Now, one of the most important questions that is supposed to be asked over here is what factors are important for the location of an industry. That means if somebody is planning to start an industry, what are the various factors he'll be keeping in mind before starting that industry, okay. In any given area, the development of industry is dependent on several factors. So there are various factors on which the development of an industry is dependent on, okay. The first thing is availability of raw materials, which is very important. For any industry to function, the first thing that we need is raw materials. Only when we have raw materials will the industry be able to produce something, okay. Then we also need water, okay, water for cleaning purposes, for taking care of other washing things, okay. Then labor is manpower, we need people who will come and work with us, okay. So that is the next important thing that we need. Along with that, we need even transport where we can bring raw materials from the fields, from the farms to the industries, and also from the industries we have to take the finished product to the market, okay. Then we need capital is meaning a lot of money, and also we need a market. As per the availability of these factors, specific industries develop. So if we have all these factors, we can see a specific industry will develop. Because of unequal distribution of these factors, industrial development does not take place at the same pace at all places. Now what happens, we can see that all these factors, whatever we have seen, say for example raw material, water, labor, transport, capital, market, all these are not available in all the places. It is unequally distributed. Certain places we can see that there is a lot of capital, certain places we can see there is less of capital, certain places there is availability of water, certain places there is no water. So due to that, what happens, at some places we can see that industrial development goes on happening at a very fast rate. Pace is nothing but speed, okay. Some regions are suitable for development of industries, while other regions only particular industries develop. So in certain industries we can see industries are developing, while only in other areas only a particular kind of an industry is developing. Dense forest and desert areas are not conducive. So we can see that dense forest areas, they are not conducive for industrial development, okay. So we can see all these various factors: availability of raw material, land is required, water is required, labor and capital also, okay. Now, location factor for setting up an industry: we need raw material, we need power, that is energy supply, current, what we call it as, okay. Then we need water supply, we need land, labor, capital, market and transport. We have seen all these things. Now students, when you look at the next part, okay, while looking for the answers for the above questions, you might have realized that the localization of the iron and steel industry, the most important factor is availability of raw material and energy. So we can see that there is a small activity in your textbook, you can just see it. In that you will understand that for any iron and steel industry, okay, for setting up an iron and steel industry, one of the most important things that we need is raw material and energy. We need raw material as well as we need energy, okay, both of which are available in a place called as Jamshedpur. The raw material is heavy and bulky. So the raw material, it is heavy as well as it is bulky meaning it is huge, okay, in size, big in size, and it is an economical to transport to the factory far away. So it is not possible, because if you have to travel it to a factory which is very far away, okay, from the place where we are getting raw material, it will be uneconomical, it will become very expensive, okay. Hence, it is favorable to establish the industry in areas where the raw material is available. Therefore, the best thing is what? To make it available in the areas where the raw material is available, that is near the raw material, the industry should be there. This is the reason for the establishment of iron and steel industry in Jamshedpur. So because of this, we can see in Jamshedpur there is the iron and steel industry, okay. Now, classification of industries, I told you there is small scale, medium scale, and heavy industries. Okay, so there are examples, you can just look at them below it. Okay, now all the three above pictures are related to the concept of industries, but the nature of their work is different. In these industries, raw material, labor forces, capital, land, etc. are essential factors. As per the nature of the work of the industries can be classified. Very often, the finished product from one of the industries is used as a raw material in other industries. Example, sugar is produced in sugar factories, is used as a sweetener, a raw material in manufacture of products such as biscuits, jams, jellies. So students, what happens now? Certain times we can see that one industry which is producing a particular good becomes a raw material for the other industry. Now I'll just give you an example. Say for example, sugar industry is a completely different industry. How do we get sugar? We get sugar from sugarcane, okay. Now once sugar is produced, it's a finished product, you can use it in your houses for making sweets, for making tea, coffee, etc, okay. But the same sugar is also used as a raw material in other industries. Say for example, in a jam industry, in a jelly making industry, they are using this same sugar which was finished product of one industry becomes a raw material for the other industry. Similarly, iron rods can be used as raw material in the engineering industry. So we can see that in engineering industries there is iron rods which are used, okay. So in that way we can see that one particular industry's finished products becomes a raw material for the other industries. Next, we have got a very simple industry and a very important industry of India, that is agro-based industries. Now agro-based means what? Industries which are based on agriculture, that is basically plants and animals based product for raw material, that is the raw material is coming from basically plants or animals, okay. So let us see. India is predominantly an agrarian country, meaning that agriculture is one of the main occupations of our country, India, okay. In India, a variety of agricultural products is available. So we can see there are varieties of agricultural products available. Different types of agro-based industries have come up. So because of that, what has happened? There are plenty of agro-based industries which have come up, okay. In addition to these industries, processing agriculture products have also developed. These include dairy product, food processing, fruit processing, jaggery making. Industries dependent on agriculture product have been established everywhere, and there also has been development of heavy industries like textile and sugar. So we can see that textile industries and sugar industries, these are which kind of industries? These are heavy industries, large scale industries. Along with that, in agriculture we have got even small scale and medium scale industries. Say for example, food processing, jaggery making. So these are all the various kinds of industries which are dependent basically on the raw materials coming from the field, that is from plants and from animal. That is what we call it as the agro based. Agro is nothing but agricultural based industries, okay. So we have got, see for example, jaggery making over here, okay. Then we have got oil press where the bullock is roaming and then we get oil, okay. Then we have got fruit processing units, okay, where we can process fruits, okay. Then we have got dal mill. Then these are few more agro-based industries what you have, okay. So students, I have completed almost half of the lesson. Now I'm sending you the notes of the lesson. Please study the notes as you will be having the test, okay, in the next week, okay. So therefore this lesson is been taken for the test. I have finished quite a few amount of lessons, very few lessons are left for you all to complete the entire book. Therefore now I'm going a bit slow with the portion, okay. So whatever notes I have sent, please study those notes today itself, okay. Complete it in your notebook and send it to me on my number. Stay home my dear students, stay safe, take care of yourself and your families. God bless you all. Thank you.